Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. I wanted to share with you today how I build multiple bases in a very close proximity to each other. So today what I did is I built 3 bases using one account and 3 different alts. So this is the first base I built. Now normally I would build this base completely out. I would build all the turrets, all the walls, everything that I wanted to build, I would finish it. And then I would fill the silo for this base up to 50,000 ore, making sure that I had plenty of ore before I logged out and created another base about 200 meters away. Now the way you can determine the distance of a silo very easily, of course, is just to go ahead and put a waypoint like this one here on the silo in question, and then just drive away or walk away till it says 200 meters. When you're at about 200 meters, you can place another silo. And that's what I did over there. That's about 200 meters away from this base here. Now, the trick with building this way is you can build towards each other. And to give you an idea of how close you can build to each other, I'll show you. So these are the silo influence areas, and you can see they're really close together. If you're clever in how you place things, you can actually close off the bases entirely with a wall, with a series of walls, because that gap there isn't big enough to keep you from building a wall that covers that gap. So this is how close you can build to each other. You can effectively have 2 silos supporting 2 different bases, but it looks like one big base. And the advantage of this type of build is that if this silo over here is destroyed, this base will still function. And what I did after I created this little base, and obviously I didn't finish either one of these bases out because this is just for demonstration purposes, I went ahead and built a 3rd base over here to show you how many bases you could actually build. So I built a 3rd base with another character over here. Now this isn't ideal placement. Let me show you what I mean by that. What I wanted to do for this demonstration was actually bring this silo up to about where this tree was, but I was in a hurry. The map's about ready to end, so I didn't quite get that done. But that would give me 2 front flanking bases that hopefully armor would come through here to attack. Now as soon as an armor unit or anything attacks any of these silos, they will all start firing to support each other. So just because this is a separate silo, and some of you already know this, when an armor unit attacks this silo's base defenses will come to the rescue of this base. So this creates some overlapping fields of fire and interlocking fields of fire. So bringing this base in the rear kind of makes a funnel effect. Now there's a lot of ways to line bases up. You could do it in a linear pattern, you can do it in a vertical pattern, you could do some sort of a option where it's zigzagged. There's just a lot of ways to do this. Now the point of this is, can you imagine if you and one other friend had 2 or 3 alts and you went ahead and each of you built 2 or 3 bases in a small valley like this? I mean, that would give you between 4 to 6 player made bases in a very small confined area. And to give you an idea how close these bases are, including the 3rd base, I mean, look at the circle of influence for that silo over there. Now you can see why the placement isn't ideal. See how that circle's a little bit off to the side over there. I should have brought it closer over to here. So you can get better at this as you practice. Now your enemy in this kind of a build is the faction queue. The faction queue is your biggest enemy. So if you're having to wait to join the continent, that's risky, because a faction queue can be a couple of seconds, it could be a couple of minutes, and in some cases, like I had earlier tonight, it was 3 in the morning and I had a 15-minute faction queue. And that's enough to make it so the base will empty a lot of the silo, and once the silo hits 0, the base disappears. So you do have to do this in a fairly timely manner, but to be honest, it's pretty casual. I mean, you could actually build this base, log out for 10 or 15 minutes, and then come back in and build this base, and you would still be able to refill each silo. Now keep in mind, just because you filled one silo up to 50,000 doesn't mean you don't have to pay any attention to it again. You still have to keep an eye on all 3 of these base silos. This base over here, this base here, and this base here are going to need ore. Now, on a side note, deployables for your alts will disappear when you log out. So you can't just go here and put out some mines and then log into another character and then place some more mines, because as soon as I log out, these mines are going to disappear. So there's no reason to worry about deployables or Spitfire turns or any of that stuff. But as far as base structures go, just a reminder, make sure you finish each base before you log out. Make sure each base has a healthy supply of ore, preferably maxed. You'd want the ore to be maxed out. And the closer you are to the warp gate, the better it is to be able to consistently provide ore. But if you want to build these bases closer to the front lines of combat, there's no problem. It just depends on your capability. If you're able to build very quickly, you could build this kind of a structure close to the front lines and have more of an effect on the battle. And by the way, Elysium spawn tubes can be placed in each base. So they're not, as long as you keep yourself with 200 meters to spare, you can put an Elysium spawn tube in each one of these bases, which gives you the flexibility to spawn in whatever base you feel is necessary. All right, hopefully this has been informative, and I'll catch you guys later.